Hey guys, welcome back. This is Jerry Garage. I'm Davis and this is Tristan. Today we're going to be working on Tristan's Turbo 3800 Camaro. If you're new to the channel, this is a 3.8 it's a supercharged motor to begin with, but we put a turbo on it. But today it is getting a ProSport suite of gauges.
Yes, it
as well as a boost controller.
Yeah.
What we got here from ProSport is the oil pressure gauge as well as a boost gauge. We were running this whole time with no boost gauge.
Yep.
We did set up like a vac gauge to like look. It's just like a normal like diagnostic thing.
Not a boost gauge. Yeah, not meant for boost.
And that gave us a ballpark of what we were running, but we don't actually truly know what we've been running. Also, the oil pressure gauge goes straight to the dash, and we don't know how accurate that is.
Also, it doesn't go to the ECU, so there's no like monitoring it on HP. And also, like he said, we don't actually know if it's accurate. Some people say that those gauges in this car are dummies. Some say they're not. It moves. Don't know if it's real.
Yeah, we always see over 60 pounds of oil pressure ever since we swapped to the Valvoline VR1 50W20 or 20W50.
Which leads me to believe that it's real, but like again, we don't know. And also, we think that we can get this to work with HP. Hopefully, it works out that way because like my ProSport gauge of my wideband didn't actually interface with the non-deluxe version of HP. Stupid, but we're hoping that this will actually work with it, and if not a horrible loss. All we're looking for is a gauge that actually tells us a realistic number, not a gauge we know is either inaccurate or just is a dummy completely. Next up on the gauge is what we need a working fuel gauge in this thing. But that is it's not gonna happen right now.
Yeah, I've been in talks with Racetronics about getting like a custom fuel sender unit built for this thing, so it'll be way more reliable and less kind of sketchy than the eBay 340 liter per hour fuel pump that we have in it, and it'll be able to hopefully accurately read the gauge if it's a whole new sender unit.
Yeah, and by the way, we just put a eBay special pump in. We didn't touch like at all the fuel sender, like literally the whole
stock unit.
The whole unit. We didn't change anything about it besides to adapt it to the new fuel pump. So like it's 20 years old. It looks like the original one, old as hell. And so like just now the fuel center level setting unit not accurate. We got gas for it last weekend. It was like showing 3/4 tank, and we know that it's about like a quarter tank low, than what it said. It must only had like 3 or 4 gallons in it, and we filled it up with over 10 gallons of gas, and it's like, wow, that gauge is completely wrong. We can't even like rely on it. So that's pretty bad. So we need something that'll actually work, but I'm just gonna wait until either we get something from Racetronics or we just buy a whole new unit with the fuel pump included and just drop in.
Yeah, all we need is a drop-in unit. That'll be the easiest solution for us.
Yep.
Lastly, we have a ProSport boost controller. So this is just a manual boost controller, nothing fancy about it, but what it'll allow us to do is it'll allow us to trick the big, I forgot what 60 mil wastegate that we have on this thing. We'll just tie it into its vacuum line, and we can just turn up the boost, a couple clicks, maybe get a couple more pounds of boost out of it. Right now, just for safety and tuning, we have a 5-pound spring in it, so we're hoping maybe add 2 more pounds for 7, get it tuned on 7, and then maybe down the road put just a 7 in there standard, and then we're at the track, we can turn it up.
Yeah, so how this works is it basically goes up to 5 PSI, and then this shows it's fully open, so I could blow through that. So this is basically no restriction. And then every number that you tighten it is basically what it says, 1 PSI more of boost, but I don't know how accurate that is. We're going to see when we have the gauge in there. We're going to install the gauge first. But just on 1 PSI, so to 4.
You barely,
Just the smallest amount. So, I don't know if it's going to be like 1 PSI per click, but this is going to be so cool because now we don't have to mess with the changing the spring of the wastegate if we just want a little bit more boost out of it. So that's going to be cool. Like how easier could it be than besides maybe electronic one?
Yeah, just type in a little bit extra, but
just
we don't got a fancy computer on this thing yet. But we are working to getting a Holly on the unit, so if you want to support us, join us as a member down below, and that money will go directly into a Holly for this thing where we could have an electronic boost controller.
That would be awesome. Just having a Holly in this thing would be awesome. It would solve a lot of our issues that we're having right now. This thing's wanting to be a bitch because MAF tuning only, really.
Yep, only the MAF.
Speed density.
So guys, what we're going to first start with is getting the oil pressure gauge installed, and I guess if you guys are interested, this is the performance series of gauge clusters. It's just a dial and pretty standard.
Yep.
And it was actually a great Black Friday deal. So if you're looking for good deals on gauges, ProSport has them pretty regularly. We even have a coupon code if you're interested for 10% off. So I'll put that right there, and you can use that if you want a set of gauges.
So yeah, so what we're gonna do is the sandwich plate that we have down in there, you know, it's got ports for these things, and so we're gonna undo one of the ports and try and put the sensor in there as quickly as we can with losing the least amount of oil as possible. So we can hopefully drive this thing around without having to add more oil.
Yeah, because we had some extra in this, but we left the cap off, unfortunately.
Yeah, so it's sus.
So guys, we're gonna go ahead and get this thing installed, and we'll be right back. You guys are interested, this is the performance series of gauge clusters. It's just a dial and pretty standard.
Yep.
And it was actually a great Black Friday deal. So if you're looking for good deals on gauges, ProSport has them pretty regularly. We even have a coupon code if you're interested for 10% off. So I'll put that right there, and you can use that if you want a set of gauges.
So yeah, so what we're gonna do is the sandwich plate that we have down in there, you know, it's got ports for these things, and so we're gonna undo one of the ports and try and put the sensor in there as quickly as we can with losing the least amount of oil as possible. So we can hopefully drive this thing around without having to add more oil.
Yeah, because we had some extra in this, but we left the cap off, unfortunately.
Yeah, so it's sus.
So guys, we're gonna go ahead and get this thing installed, and we'll be right back.
So what is that?
All right guys, we're under the car here, and as you can see, there is our ProSport sandwich plate, and you can see there's a couple different places you can place the sensor. The sensor itself is pretty big on this kit. You can buy a different kit from them, and it comes with a smaller electronic sensor. I mean, I guess it's electronic, but our goal is to place it right here. This one is leaking, so what we're gonna do is just pop it off, thread this in very quickly, and from there, all we have to do is run 2 wires to the gauge on the back. We'll just run it probably along somewhere, maybe up. We'll figure that out once we get there. But all we have to do is run it up to the gauge cluster and then give it power and ground. And then there's one extra additional line that we can see about running to the serial port or the serial connection on for HP input. Then we'll finally be able to monitor oil pressure while we're data logging, which is kind of important.
Yep.
So, yep, we're gonna go ahead and get this set up. I'll probably set up the GoPro. Oh, here you go. Probably set up the GoPro so you guys watch, and yeah, we'll get started here. Alright guys, so we took some time and got the gauges in our holder here. So when we got the Camaro, it came with this. Tristan doesn't like it. It's just a suede covered, like the kid who owned it, just covered in suede.
I do not like it at all. I hate it.
But it came with the wideband. We had to buy a new one because it went bad, and there's mounting for it. So the kit comes with these brackets. We had to modify it a little bit just to fit our custom setup here. So your mileage may vary.
Yep.
You also have to do whatever you can to get it to fit. You might have different, you know, setups like a A-pillar pod holder, or, you know, front, or even they do come with I don't know if these ones did, but the stands, you put one on your Bonneville.
Yeah, it didn't come with that. This is the best it came with, which I guess the more expensive gauges come with the stands that just like would double-sided tape to your dash.
Yeah.
But the cheaper ones did not. Not like it mattered. But what's nice is the feature of these is that these will be heated, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Because
Totally.
this is where the vents would be. But yeah, it looks like they completely modified it to where these circular, because normally these would be square or rectangular.
There'd be like 2 rectangle
There would be. And now there isn't, and there's a bunch of epoxy.
Now there's no airflow either.
Nope. But you can kind of feel it past the gauges, but anyways, they'll be heated, so that's interesting.
Yeah,
but
it'd be nice if we had a button to fill that, then the whole thing
it would
be
be
covered.
nice. Yeah, I believe that's where the traction control would be. And then, you know, it's got spots for 2 more that it never had. But yeah, so we're going to throw this bad boy in once we get the wiring in the car.
Yeah, I don't know where it happened. Yeah, I got this wiring all ready to go, so I'm going to route it through and then tape the whole thing. Well, I think I'm actually going to heat shrink it because I have the stuff there, the little connector bits.
Yep.
Wrap the whole thing, then we'll route it through to, you're not going to be able to see it, but right in there where we routed the wideband, there's a hole that goes through the firewall.
Yeah, and the boost gauge, that'll be really simple. So I think we got like half the job done right now.
Yep, it'll just be running the rest of the wire, basically.
Yep, I think fitting it through that hole will be the only tricky part, only because like getting down in there, that'll be interesting.
Yeah, so the sandwich plate's there. I think I'm gonna route it over here, then over, and then through.
Makes sense.
And then it doesn't need to go very far, it just needs to go up from the bottom to the stereo area where this is gonna live.
And then this
the wire
could
harness.
probably sit like somewhere around here or something.
Maybe. Find a place for it. It has a thing there.
Yeah, we could
so
zip tie it to somewhere.
Self-tapper it somewhere.
Yeah, and then we could just tee off of this thing.
Yeah,
in fact, like that, and then here, somewhere around here, and then the wire could just follow that one into the car.
Yep.
And then into the gauge.
Yep.
Be pretty
super simple. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get the oil pressure going, and then the boost gauge, and we'll cut back once we have that kind of wired through.
Yeah, and then we'll send it on a drive. Well, guys, here's a little update for you.
Yep, just wiring this in. Basically, I can take it back out. Well, actually can't now.
No, you don't have to.
The gauges over there, they have switched power, so it has a red wire and a white wire, then has a black wire for ground. What I basically did, and I've done this before, I've experienced with it in my Mustang and other stuff we've done. I don't know if it shouldn't be bad. It's going into a fuse, so it's not like it'll damage anything. But I wire them all together, so it'll be one ground, and then it'll be one power. And then all we have to worry about are the green wires. This is from the oil pressure gauge. So it's gonna go to the green wire off this, or I guess that one right there. And the other one is going to be for the boost gauge. And then this one is the power, which will go to our fused power off this. And then both of them should work. I'm actually just gonna quickly get the oil pressure one set up because that's the only one we have ran wires for.
Yep.
Turn it on, see if it works.
Yep, and then we don't have a fuse tap for a normal fuse right now, so we're just putting it in the fuse box like that. So that's gonna get changed real quick, but
ghetto, but it is what it is.
It's worked a couple weeks on the just the AM gauge, so we know at least it works like that. And then all three of them are gonna terminate on the same ground. Here, let me see that. Right here, it's a dash bolt right here, so on bare metal. So we're putting the three of them to ground right there, and so soon we'll have all three done. So it looks like he's almost done with the second one. And yeah, oh, by the way, guys, if you want an actual in-depth tutorial on this,
we have a bunch of videos that ProSport even has on their website, instructional videos on how to do this very specifically. We're not going into much detail here because those videos exist already, and we're interested in just getting it done.
Yep.
It's that time of year, so it gets dark at like 4 or something, so
yeah, we're losing daylight.
We're losing daylight, so we kind of just want to get it running here. So.
Yeah, so if you want to see an in-depth tutorial, look at the description, and you'll see a walkthrough.
Yep.
So we'll come back with the gauges actually working, or at least one of them.
Yeah. All right, guys, I got the oil pressure gauge all wired up. It's not final here, and we still need to do the boost gauge. Everything's just hanging. But I wanted to show you guys how cool these gauges are. We just tested it to see that it was working. Keep in mind, the boost gauge isn't wired up yet for the sensor, so it'll read just like at the top. So this is oil pressure, this is boost. So when you put the key in, it'll do a startup. Pretty awesome. And then goes right up to about 70, 65, 70.
Nice, it became unstuck.
Yeah, our IAC was getting stuck at 2 grand, but now it fixed it.
Those look good.
Yep.
You know what it is the green wire we cut off in the night mode, or the orange wire. I think the orange wire is what tells it to go red, because they're meant to be red.
Oh, okay. I think white's good though.
Which I think white's good, and also I think all you have to do is wire the orange into the power, and then I think it will turn red. But I'm not gonna fuck with it for now.
Yeah, and you guys, you can see my startup tune. It's keeping it right about 4. It's a little bit, little rich, but that's kind of intended. You want it a little bit rich when you're starting up, but
this looks so
way better.
I'm really happy with that.
And now we can definitely see the oil pressure is pretty much accurate to what we're seeing here. It's gonna be kind of hard to see, especially with that glare, but it's just above 60.
Yep, it's about 65.
Yep.
So that is accurate, guys. So it's not a dummy in our particular year. But God, that gauge is so questionable still, because like you see, he turns it off and it should go to 0, but it stays at 60. So that's kind of why we were wondering, especially.
Yeah.
And then you can also see the fuel. This thing's full, or pretty much close to full, and it reads that, but it also always reads that, so
Yeah.
that's great.
Anyways, we're gonna quickly wire up the boost gauge and then hopefully take it on a drive. It is getting dark, as you guys can see. We might take it on a drive tomorrow just so it's some better lighting, but yeah, just seeing those turn on, awesome. Looks so good. Also guys, we got the sender unit here running. So basically for the boost gauge, has an electronic module, so you don't have to run like a boost line all the way to the gauge. It's just going to be off this harness, which we need to extend some wires. Just power ground for the actual sender unit, and the white wire goes inside, connects to the green wire, and that gives it the signal. Everything else is already wired up, as you saw it turned on because they had power. So all we have to do is give it its signal and power up the sender, and we'll be able to measure our boost. So
hell yeah, we're close.
Quickly
really
just
close.
get that thrown together and we'll be right back. All right guys, we're back. We just finished up with the whole install. We went the extra mile and like just did a complete, you know, all nice. Tristan even went ahead and like wire loomed up all this stuff with the cloth tape. If you guys want to make your engine harness look good, buy some cloth tape.
Definitely.
It is like super nice. We have the boost sender completely wired up. It is all nice and cleanly installed. You can see it includes a filter with it as well. Inline filter for particulates hitting the sensor.
Yeah.
Just so keeps it safer.
We're going to originally have all three gauges tied into the inside, but we decided since this is right here, we're just going to terminate it here on the fuse box and then just ground it right here where our intercooler pump is tied to. And so it was right here, so we did that. We also are running out of wire. We are out.
Almost out.
And so that's kind of why we did that. And so it looks really nice this way. And then we're just going to obviously tuck all the stuff under the dash up there.
Yeah, I already got that done too.
Oh, nice. You already did that. And then, well, it's ready to go. And so, yeah, we just had no more daylight. So you guys aren't really we're not going to bother filming because you're not going to be able to see inside the car when we're there. But tomorrow we're going to come back and we're going to actually show you guys what this thing looks like when it has gauges. Oh, yeah, the boost controller. We're going to do that tomorrow, too.
Yep, so you'll see us do that.
That would be really cool. I can't wait to, like, start seeing what boost it actually makes on this spring. And then what that does. I mean, I know what that will do, so that will be cool. Yeah,
basically, yeah, we're tomorrow going to take it on a drive. We're going to see what kind of boost it makes with the boost gauge now, with the 5-pound spring in it, and as a baseline. Then we're going to add the boost controller, and we're going to up the boost. We're also probably going to data log and have Gardner look over it, just so we can get some more adjustment on there, because as you saw in the previous video, we were having issues with that random KR.
Yep, still having those issues. So Garner has just found his laptop charger, so he's interested in helping us again. We're just gonna send him a log, and then we're just gonna send him the tune since Davis has played around with it, just to get cruising and idling fuel right, which it looks like it's on. It looks like it's spot on, but we just haven't driven it yet. So yeah, we're just gonna data log it real quick and send him that, so maybe he can get us a revision tomorrow. Or maybe just answer our questions on why the KR is doing that, because it shouldn't. And so we're basically at a loss at this point. We can't put any more power into it. Davis even took even more timing out, and the car is running like sub 12 degrees timing in wide open throttle, right? Which is low.
Yeah, right now I think it's set to 8. So
8,
because like 6 out.
Because Davis told me after some research, most people run like 14 wide open.
And that's even a more boost, like even up to 14 pounds of boost, they run it at
8,
12 or 14.
8 freaking degrees of timing. That's really, it's really pulled out. So it shouldn't be doing this. There's something going on with the setup or the tune.
Yep. Anyways, guys, we'll catch back with you tomorrow when we're taking this on a drive, and we'll see you then. All right, guys, it's the next day. We're in the Camaro. We got it warmed up. Coincidentally, it is snowing today, so
kind of interesting.
Yeah, we're still going to try to get into boost and whatnot. We did take it on a drive last night just to test out everything in the gauges, and everything was working flawlessly. All the problems that we were having in the last drive where we were seeing all that KR and it was running really bad, like I think the MAF tune really helped that out that I did, and then just the KR is gone, so I don't know what that's about. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and take on another drive and see how it does. You can see we got our boost gauge, oil pressure gauge, wideband, everything all ready to go. We also, once we're done our first drive, we're going to put on the boost controller, see if we can gain any more boost when we're driving. Or when the key's on but the engine's off, it sits right below 0, so I think maybe a bad ground or something to this thing, so it's showing like off by 1. So when I have a 5-pound spring, it'll probably show 4.
So it's showing 4, but it's like probably 5.
Yep.
Yep, but like he said, it's snowy out, but it hasn't gotten slick out yet because it's not freezing out.
Yeah, not sicking yet.
And so it just started snowing, and apparently it's gonna be snowing for like the next 12 hours.
Yep.
Well, until like 12 or 10
p.m.
which is crazy because once it drops another few degrees, it's gonna get that cold. So yeah, we'll see if we have any of these same issues.
Yep. I did notice, I checked the tire pressure this morning. I think when you got these tires all mounted and whatnot, they put them at 40 and we never checked them. So they're running 40 pounds of tire pressure this entire time.
I'm surprised they would be 40 even in this cold. Maybe they were higher.
Yeah, maybe even higher. So yeah, I put them to 32.
That's kind of crazy. It was 40 and you checked when it was like almost 30 degrees out?
Yeah.
That's kind of interesting. No wonder the Camaro felt so fucking stiff. Because every bump you could feel so well.
Yep.
That might help. Oh my god. The fucking license plate's just sitting now and it's just vibrating against the dash. That's fun.
God damn.
Oh my god, we're fogging up.
Alright guys, we're gonna go ahead and do a pull here.
That just slipped. Just immediately slipped. Remember when I said it wasn't slick out, guys?
Woo! I was losing some traction there. Felt that we started going sideways. Oh man.
That was confident you had it.
I was watching the road. I wasn't trying to watch the gauges.
I wasn't watching the gauges either.
Well, you guys probably where you had they pointed at it, but first gear, nothing. Literally just completely slipped it. The second gear, it was kind of fine. Third gear, top of that, I'm sure we were actually hitting boost at that point, and that's when we like started going a little sideways. So
yeah, it is very wet out though, so that's why that's like that.
Yeah.
So I think we're just gonna have to do the same thing, get into like third gear, and that's when we do our pull, because we're just gonna lose traction.
I lost traction in third gear when I hit boost though.
I know, but I think that's the only way you're gonna get it.
Man, how are we gonna test the boost controller if it's gonna be this slick out?
Well, I think at least getting that, getting that high of RPM, I think we got the amount of boost that we're going to see. So I mean, as long as even if it spins, you'll still get the boost. But I didn't see any KR, so that's good.
That's awesome.
I don't know what happened with like the last log.
All right, let's see.
Yeah, it shows 4 on the gauge.
Nice.
So
no KR?
Nope.
Nice. That's awesome, guys. It's running good. Finally. It just sucks. It's snowing.
Yeah. Yeah, if only we had more time on it yesterday, because it was dry yesterday. Well, it's cold, but dry.
That's awesome, guys. Yeah, I have the heater off because it's really loud for the camera, so we're kind of fogging up a little bit. That's fine. Oh yeah, I don't know if I mentioned it, but we got the heater to work. The dial cord or whatever was just not connected.
It's for this.
Yeah.
So he was able to reconnect it, but it's actually very tight back there.
Yeah.
So it's almost not willing to reconnect.
I think when we put the dash back in after the AC delete, we tried and just gave up because it was difficult and then forgot about it. So, but now we have heat.
there was a lot of things like that behind the dash where, like, if you don't route it 100% the way that the factory does, it won't fit.
Yeah.
And it sucks.
I'm actually surprised how well these tires are doing. I mean, they're straight up like summer performance like radials.
Yeah. And they're 265s.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, as you can see, it's driving much better. I think we're gonna skip back once we're back at the house to put the boost controller on. We're gonna turn on the heater because we're freezing. So.
All right.
Oh God.
And I'm gonna fix that.
Yeah, freaking license plate rattling.
We'll be right back.
All right, guys. We're back from that drive. We have our ProSport manual boost controller. I wish it had a like arrow pointing direction that's supposed to go through. From what we can determine, we plug this side into the boost source. So this is pushing boost, and it goes to our wastegate. So it'd be inline, push booster here, and it lets off some of the boost pressure, so it tricks the wastegate into making more boost, or at least not opening until it sees more boost. We're gonna go ahead and connect it up, and we're gonna see how it runs. And depending on what we see, might need to flip it. You know, we don't know if we're...
Yeah.
Like I said, I wish I had like an arrow pointing what way it needs to go.
Yep, and then also like these lines are a little bit too big, so we're hoping that these hose clamps do a good enough job of sealing it. Other than that, like we might have to reduce the line down. Hopefully we don't have to do that. I'm just now noticing that each face has a letter. Don't know what that's about.
There's no instructions on that either.
Because it doesn't say anything about that, but alright, we'll figure that one out.
Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and cut this line, add it, and then hose clamp it. We're gonna go ahead and take on another drive. Alright guys, we have the boost controller here locked in, and it's definitely sturdy. Hopefully it doesn't come off with the boost pressure, because I mean that might see, you know, 5 to 7 psi now. But it'll be fine.
Oh, let me go turn it on real quick. See if there's any leaks.
Yeah,
no leaks so far.
The boost side is separate from the back system. It literally only goes from that to the wastegate. Alright guys, we're gonna go and take another drive and see how it does. Alright guys, boost controller is on. I'm just gonna go take it down and see what it makes now. Hopefully I can keep an eye on the boost controller and the road at the same time. I have to like move my head in line right here.
Don't kill us.
Kill us?
Yeah, don't kill us. I'll record the boost gauge. You just work on not killing us.
No.
That's no fun.
Yeah.
There's no chance of dying. What's the fun in that?
I built a death trap, I'm gonna use it.
Yeah. I built a death trap, I'm gonna get my use out of it. Alright, just let me know.
Alright, I'm about to go.
Alright. Okay, it made like 7 psi like instantly.
Yeah.
I saw that. Did you guys see that?
Oh,
it made 10.
Yep, that was 10.
I think each click might be a couple.
Yeah, maybe. That was 10, so
we're done.
We're done.
We're gonna at least put it to 4 maybe, or
well no, that would be more. Tighter is more boost.
Oh yeah. We gotta put it on like 1 or 2.
Yeah, and the IAC didn't like that, so it's kind of stuck now.
Oh, okay. Well, give it a smack.
Well, guys, it made 10 pounds of boost like instantly.
That's crazy. And we have to freaking smack this IAC constantly now.
I think it fixed itself. No, it's still kind of stuck.
It's a very unhappy sensor.
Yeah, it's still
stuck. And so I bought a new one, but it hasn't arrived yet.
Yeah.
But that was crazy. I saw it go over 10.
Yeah. Yep. I saw how quickly that thing went up in boost. Oh boy.
Damn, and oh man, if only we had traction that did that.
We should save that data log. I want to see what it looked like.
Alright. Well, we'll be back, guys. We're just gonna make a minor adjustment and come right back with you. Alright, we're back. We're back with the lowest setting.
Yep, hopefully. So, only thought here is it's on the low setting, and before we thought it was, you know, still low. Could be that we have the boost controller flipped and it's not letting any boost hit the wastegate, so the wastegate's always shut.
That makes sense. Yeah. But we're gonna see right now.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm gonna try, I guess, second gear pull. Yeah, I did not like. Here, let's try third gear. I think it might be doing the same thing.
Yep, it went to 10, so I think we need to flip it.
I'm gonna try flipping it real fast. So I'm just gonna pull over, flip it, and we'll go back around. And yeah, so I guess now we know which way it's supposed to be.
God damn it, ProSport, why are you not more descriptive with your instructions?
Yeah, I was wrong. Tristan was right. He said he thought it should be the other way, so let's go ahead and
But what is the short side and the long side at that point?
I don't fucking know.
We'll be back. Alright, we're back.
Got the boost controller flipped over, so it should be the right way, and if it's not, then I don't know what else we should try. I mean, even lower somehow, but there's no dial left on it.
Right.
So, yeah, I think that had to have been the issue, so we're going to go ahead and give it another rip here and see if we're making any more boost.
Yeah, the wet the wet pavement is not being friendly to us.
Nope.
Yeah, all we're really doing is just slipping, just spinning the tires, which is
seems safer to do a third gear pull, because it ramps in the boost much slower.
Yeah, it's not like instantaneous boost and the tires are breaking loose.
All right, let's go.
I saw right below 5.
Right below 5, so that's the right way. So I'm gonna park again, adjust it back to the 3 we had, and hopefully that's 2 pounds of boost, because that's set to 5 and we didn't see any more boost. So
yep, so that seems like we got it right now.
Yep.
It's just closed.
So sorry about cutting so much, guys, but we'll be right back.
All right, we're back.
I set it like 1.5 clicks forward, so we'll see if that gives us any more boost past 4, because when we did that last rip, after setting it correctly, on the lowest setting doesn't look like it added anything, so now it's time to ramp it up now that it's not going to like do 10. So, all right, you ready?
Yep.
Oh, that was 4th gear. I'm like, why is it not going? All right, you ready?
Yep.
Oh, 10 again.
Huh.
So what I set it to is too high. I'm gonna set it down 1 more tick.
Wow, then those clicks are a lot.
Yeah, they are.
That's
And the IAC stuck open again.
God damn it.
Fuck.
Can you hear that, guys? Just the IAC making this thing idle at 2,000 RPM. 1,700. We're back. So how much did you tighten it, Davis?
I put it at 4, like just under 5.
Okay.
I hit 7.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I hit 7.
Oh, yeah, it worked this time, guys.
Yeah, dude.
All right.
That hit 7, and I didn't see it go above. I did let off kind of right there, so we'll give it another go and see if it's like truly where we need it. But that was reassuring.
Yeah, and then after that, we'll check the logs for any KR.
Yep.
I didn't see any, but I wasn't looking that hard.
God, it's so snowy out, guys. Look at this.
It is very snowy out, guys.
I don't know if it shows up well on camera, but it looks like a freaking windshield winder.
Yeah, it does.
All right,
Yeah, we don't get snow very often, guys.
Never. And it's unusual this early in the season for it. It normally happens after like January.
Yeah, it's like late December, but usually January.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Hey, stop. Okay. It went to 6KR, but you can go ahead and do it again. I don't know why it just...
That's holding right at 7 PSI.
See, that's so weird. You do that one pull, it went up to 6.
Well, no, good thing now that we captured it, you can send it to Garner and he can give us some input as to why that might have happened.
Yeah, good point.
That's holding right at 7 PSI of boost, guys.
That's awesome. Which if it's holding at 7, it might be making 8.
Oh, true. Actually.
Because it's 1 under.
Yep.
So we might want to do like 1 click maybe down from that, or just leave it, because it looked like it had no problem.
I mean, if we're not seeing KR, it should be fine. The only thing we need to be concerned about is making a bit too much torque for this transmission, because it's a glass, transmission, the T5.
Yeah.
They don't do really well past 5 pounds of boost, 300 foot-pounds of torque. And especially in 3rd gear, when you're 3rd gear, it's really like, basically the major problems with the transmission are in 3rd gear with the 2 shafts separating when you're under boost. So we might want to turn down just a little bit just to keep the transmission safe, but man, it feels really good at the 7 or 8 pounds of boost it's making.
My only concern is, since we're tuning it cold, and we make 8 PSI now, when it's not cold, like say 70 degrees, it might not run as good. What's that on the road? Oh, it's just a squirrel. The squirrel.
I saw the AFRs get to that lower condition where we see knock, so I let out of it. I know you weren't looking at it, so I'll give it another shot here.
Yeah, I did it again. It went up to 4.
Okay. Well, I guess that's enough data for Garner, and we know for sure that the boost controller is working, so let's try not to rip on it so much, I guess, and we'll just head back. But man, it's awesome knowing that it's working now.
Yeah, like the boost controller's working just like how we wanted. The gauges are working great, exactly how we wanted.
Yep.
So everything's turned out good.
And look at the AFRs. Like, I mean,
the
my tuning was pretty good, and I got it right where it needs to go.
Yeah, Davis made it way better on cruising. And you know what? With those third gear pulls, it's not going into power adder mode. So,
oh, really?
No, it's not going into power enrichment. So I feel like that's why we might be seeing KR.
It definitely should be.
It should be. It's just that I think the the tables are just kind of funky.
I don't know. It's supposed to see TPS and it's supposed to enable, so I don't know why it wouldn't.
I don't know why I wouldn't either, but that's something to look at.
Yeah.
But I noticed that power enrichment on those third gear pulls are not activating, and so you're not getting the kind of fuel that you should be.
I see. Okay. Well, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and take it back home, and we'll finish it out there. But this is a huge success. The gauges work great. The car's running great. And yesterday when we were driving it, we didn't see any of that KR issue we're seeing now. But I'm happy that we're actually able to capture it in a data log that we can send over to Garner, so he can, you know, kind of figure out what's going on with it. I think we need just a little bit more fuel on light up and throttle, and that might clear everything up, or just figure out what's going on with it. But yeah, guys, the Camaro is finally running good. It's getting better, and we're finally making more boost, some respectable numbers, like almost 8 pounds of boost.
Yeah, and like that, the only issue currently now is the IAC.
Yep.
And that's coming Monday supposedly, and so you know, that's gonna be fixed, and so I can't really think of much else that needs fixing before this actually drives.
Yep. All right, guys, we'll catch you back at the house. Well, guys, the Camaro finally made some more boost thanks to the ProSport manual boost controller. It's just a little simple thing they can add to it. We're actually able to see the boost now with the boost gauge sensor, and we can actually tell that we're making good oil pressure throughout the entire thing. We never dropped below 60. It's freaking ripping finally. We're gonna go over those logs and look what it was doing when we were seeing that 6KR, because like Tristan mentioned, I got into it, it did like the 6KR, and then he told me to let off, and I let off, and then immediately he was like, okay, try again. Same thing, third gear pull, and had no KR.
Yeah.
And it made 7 pounds of boost, or 8
and
pounds.
then the pull immediately after that, same thing,
Yep.
KR. And so it's like, the hell, man. And you know, one of the things unrelated that I had thought of, like, okay, there's only like 5 settings on this boost controller, so okay, well, if you're trying to make big boost with like a low spring, maybe you need 2, or like need even more like air let out of the vacuum line. But like, no, those settings are so actually aggressive on there.
Yeah.
Just from one setting to the
From
other.
4 to 5, it made a difference of like 3 pounds of boost.
Which is like, dang, I thought it was like maybe 1 PSI per click or something like that. No, it's like,
well, there's letters in between it as well. There's numbers on the dial, center dial, and then there's letters on the rotating part.
I was wondering what those letters mean, and it's probably the clicks, maybe, like,
yeah, I don't know.
So you must be able to fine tune like how much boost that you really can make with this.
We can go through it more. Like, I'm gonna look over the footage and see exactly how much boost we're making with Tristan holding the camera to it, and then we can make adjustments from there. But I think 7 pounds is a good place to leave it on, because it feels really great at 7, and we weren't seeing any KR other than like those random things that are unexplained, like the 6, which makes no sense. I don't believe it. But
so honestly, like, you guys need to get yourself one of these, because like this, I mean, it was like on sale for $30, but I think they're normally 40, 50.
Yep.
It's so worth it. Like, why ever replace a spring in your wastegate when you can just be like, boop,
yep,
you know?
just turn it up.
That's way cool. So I'm so glad Davis bought that.
Yep.
Like, that's so cool.
Yeah, but it's finally running good, guys. We have the system. I mean, this is the most complete it's ever been. Like, there's no projects foreseen for this at the moment, like, other than just further tuning it, and that's about it. Well, I guess we have to swap the balancer. That's it.
Yeah, hey, swap the balancer, because it's getting so annoying with its squeakiness,
wobbling and stuff.
It's wobbling. Yeah, it's wobbling is messing it up. So yeah, we're gonna do that next week. I'm not sure what else we're gonna do, but other random stuff.
As you guys can see, it's snowing very hard, and it's actually starting to stick. So I think we're done driving the Camaro for today. But man.
It's its first snow too, really. I mean, like,
driving, yeah.
Driving, yep.
It's here through snow before. I think I have some photos of it, like with like a foot of snow on it. But yeah,
man, I'm happy with it though. I'm really happy with it.
Yep. So guys, that'll do it for today. I hope you enjoyed watching us install these awesome gauges and turn up the boost on the Camaro and ripping it, because it feels awesome. And honestly, when it was making 10 pounds of boost, it felt really good too. So
it did.
Probably not very good for the transmission or rear end. It's just a stock 10 bolt and a stock T5. Those things are glass, they'll blow up. But Yep, we're saving up. Tristan's saving up for a Tremec TKX transmissions, 5-speed, saving up for an 8.8 rear end swap, and saving up for Holly. So if you want to join us down below as a member,
help us pay for those things.
All of it goes there. But yeah, if you guys want to subscribe, leave a like down below. That'd be great. We're going to see you next time.